Welcome back aspirants on MacTech 40, and today we will solve one question of IAS exam, and that has been asked in mains, okay, or more commonly known as civil service, okay, and the question of heat exchanger. But before we start, as you know, our question of general studies, the Polavaram irrigation project is being constructed on which river? Option A Godavari, option B Kaveri, option C Krishna, or option D Mahanadi river. Okay, you have to answer me in the comment box your answer. Okay, I'm waiting for your answers. So let's start our today's question. So this question is asked in mains exam of 20 marks question. Okay, now before we start, let me clear you something. Some basics are there in the shell and tube type condenser. This is a shell and these are the tubes. Okay, so here the one fluid is coming. It may be hot or cold, and in pipe there is a other fluid. It may be a hot or cold as per in given question. Okay, it is flowing. So what is the pass? What is the number of passes? Okay, so what is the pass? The definition of pass is when the fluid is entering from one end in the pipe and throughout its length, when it reach to other end, okay, then it's known as one pass. Okay, the fluid may be coming back by U bend provided in the pipe, okay, like this. Okay, so this is the second pass starting. Okay, so the length from one end to another end is known as pass. Okay, the second thing is basically what happens in heat exchanger. As you all know, there is a pipe in which fluid is flowing inside that pipe, and from an outside there is also fluid is flowing. Okay, so basically convection heat transfer is majority play a role. Okay, but there are three resistance in this flow. The first resistance is due to fluid is flowing inside the tube. Okay, so there is a convection resistance. Okay, so when we draw the resistance circuit, okay, so first is convection resistance on inside, then the material of the pipe that is being used, so there is some conduction resistance. Okay, then fluid is flowing outside of the tube also, so there is a convection resistance on outside also. Okay, so these three are in resistance are in series. Okay, hope you clear this. Okay, now let's start our question. The question is, and one more thing, uh, the heat, it is one fluid is hot and one fluid is cold. Okay, in heat exchanger, as you know. So whatever in our case, okay, what till now what we have studied is whatever heat is rejected by the hot fluid, it is gained by cold fluid. Okay, there is no any loss from the outer surface or by radiation. Okay, so we will not consider in this case. So the data given is, in a large steam power plant, a shell and tube type condenser is used in which it has the following data. Heat exchange data, it is a 2100 megawatt. That means amount of heat interaction Q, it is 2100 megawatt. So this much amount of heat is rejected from steam. Okay, number of shell passes is 1, and number of tubes, that is small n, and number of tube passes, it is 2. So I am writing as a P. Okay, what is number of pass? 1 here, 1 from one end to another end, and it is coming back to other end to first end. Okay, so this is a, if the fluid is going like this and coming out, so this is the first pass and this is the second pass. Okay, and there are 31,500 tubes in one run. Okay, so that means number of tubes like this are in one pass and same as on the other pass. Okay, and one more thing I forgot to tell you, that the heat transfer, that has been basically convection mechanism. So the area of heat transfer is a surface heat area. Okay, surface heat transfer pi d, not our cross section area. The cross section area is only used in mass flow rate. Okay, and pi d and whatever the length of the tube. So this is the surface area our. Next is given as diameter of the each tube is 25 mm. So the capital D diameter of the pipe we have. Condensation temperature is 50 degrees Celsius Tc. Mass flow rate of the water is given as 3.4 into 10 raised to 4 kg per second. And the heat transfer coefficient on the steam side, that means HO, because steam is flowing outside of the tube. Water temperature, inlet water temperature specifically TWI, it is 20 degrees Celsius. And outside heat transfer coefficient on steam side, it is given at 11,400 watt per meter square Kelvin. And the heat transfer coefficient on the water side, it is 8,018 watt per meter square Kelvin. Sorry, not water, that means H inside. Okay, so using effectiveness NTU method, find out the outlet temperature of the cooling water and length of tube per pass. And the properties, mean properties at 27 degree of water are given as Cp, mu, K, and Prandtl number. Okay, and neglect the thermal resistance due to tube wall. This is very important line. Okay, so here it is given that resistance due to conduction is neglected. So this resistance will become zero. So we have only two resistance. Okay, the resistance from convection heat transfer inside and resistance on outside. Okay, convection heat transfer. So first of all, let us draw the Tx diagram, that means temperature and distance profile. And here steam is condensing. So as you know, the condensation is a phase change process. Okay, so the curve will be temperature will be same. Okay, that only there will be phase change from vapor to liquid, but temperature will be same. It is a 50 degree. Now the inlet water temperature is 50 degree, sorry, 20 degree. So it will be something like here. Okay, and this diagram is temperature and distance. Temperature, what is x is the distance of the, what is the length of the tube or length of the heat exchanger. Okay, and the inlet water is 20 degrees Celsius and water is getting heated like this. Okay, and steam will be at 50 degrees Celsius but only phase change. Okay, so we have to find this temperature. What is the outlet temperature? T2. Okay, now we what we have to do is to find this. We have total heat exchange data. Okay, so as I told you, whatever amount of heat is rejected by the hot fluid, it is gained by the cold fluid. Okay, so heat gained by the cold fluid Q is equal to, we know that mcp delta T here, because not phase is changing but it is heated. Okay, so 2100 megawatt, so we will convert into kilowatt. Okay, mass flow rate is given to us 3.4 into 10 raised to 4 kg per second. Specific heat is given to us and it is 4.18 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. So 4.18 and delta T, that means the temperature difference. So the water outlet temperature minus water inlet temperature. Okay, but we know the water inlet temperature is 20 degrees Celsius. So we have the all the data, just we have to find outlet water temperature. So when you solve this in calculator, you will find the temperature is 34.77 degrees Celsius. Okay, so when you solve this, you will find the outlet water temperature is 34.77. So this temperature will become 34.77. Okay, so our first question is solved. Next, the length of tube pass. Okay, so here there is a temperature difference at inlet side also, and there is a outlet side also. And I have told you what is the area of the heat transfer is pi dl. Okay, so heat transfer area is given as pi dl because it is a surface area. Heat is transferred on the surface to surface, pi dl. But here we have 31,500 number of tubes, so that much number and two passes. Okay, so this much area will be our total area for heat transfer. Now we have to find L. So you will, so one equation will come into your mind is Q is equal to UA into LMTD. Okay, and LMTD, here it is not mentioned in question that the heat exchanger is counter flow or parallel flow, so we have taken parallel flow. Okay, so the UA into LMTD, this equation will be useful because we have heat transfer given to us. We have LMTD because we have all the temperature, all four temperature we have given to us. Okay, now, but how to find U? This is the question. Okay, but in the question it is given that use effectiveness and NTU method. So this equation will not be helpful to us. Okay, so we have to find using effectiveness method. So first of all, let me tell you what is effectiveness. Effectiveness, that means if we employ heat exchanger in the operation, then what will be the heat gain? Okay, what will the output we are getting? So efficiency is effective, not efficiency. It is a actual possible heat transfer upon maximum possible heat transfer. So maximum possible heat transfer, that means if there is a temperature difference between two bodies and we will use as them as a heat exchanger, so what will the maximum amount of heat that can be exchanged? But there is some convection resistance here in given question, so there will be some loss. And actually it is only 2100 megawatt. Okay, so actual possible heat transfer is 2100 megawatt. So we will convert into kilowatt. Here the main concept is lying over here. Okay, the main question start from here. And maximum possible heat transfer is what? So maximum possible heat transfer, that means look at here in the TX diagram. Initially water is 20 degrees Celsius and steam is 50. So there is a temperature difference maximum 30 degree. Okay, and mass flow rate of water is given, Cp is given. Okay, so maximum there can be temperature difference of 30 degree, but it is only 14.77 degrees Celsius temperature difference, because 34.77 minus 20 degrees, so there is actually only 14.77 degree, but the maximum is 30 degree. So maximum possible heat transfer is mass flow rate of the water, Cp of water into delta T maximum possible. So it is 2100 megawatt. So we will convert into kilowatt. Mass flow rate is 3.4 into 10 raised to 4. Cp is given to us 4.18, and maximum temperature difference is 30 degrees Celsius. So when you solve this, you will find effectiveness as 0.5, 0.5, yes, 0.5. So that means there will be a chance of 4200 megawatt, but actually 2100 megawatt is only we are heat exchanging. Okay, now there is some equation on different cases, like if there is a parallel flow heat exchanger or counter flow heat exchanger, then effectiveness is equal to 1 minus 1 upon e raised to minus 1 plus ntu. And if there is a balanced counter flow heat exchanger, then there will be equation like effectiveness is equal to ntu plus 1 upon ntu. Okay, so there are many cases. So here one fluid is going phase change, that means steam is condensing from vapor to liquid. Okay, and one fluid is uh, increasing and it is getting sensible heat. So effectiveness equation will be 1 minus e raised to minus ntu. So this equation we will be use. There are different equation for different cases. I think you have studied in your btech program. Okay, so this equation you have to use. Now we have a zero point 0.5 efficiency, sorry, effectiveness. So put this value 0.5 is equal to 1 minus e raised to minus ntu. So when you solve this, e raised to minus ntu will be 0.5. Okay, so when you take ln on both the side and when you solve in calculator, you will find ntu as a 0.7. ntu 0.7, just mark it somewhere. Now what we know, ntu is equal to number of transfer unit. ntu is a number of transfer unit and it is given as ua upon c, or c minimum, capital C minimum. What is this capital C? That is a heat capacity. Okay, all those engineers who studied this heat transfer very seriously, so they know this equation very well. Heat capacity, and heat capacity is given as mass of that any substance and specific heat. It is a product of mass of any product and specific heat. So it is known as heat capacity. So here in data only one fluid they are talking about, water. The data we have given is only about water, not they have not any given data on the steam side. Okay, so we will take C value, NTU is given as zero point 0.7. Okay, U, A and C will be what? Mass of water, mass flow rate of the water, and Cp of water. Now U is equal to what? Overall heat transfer coefficient, and here there is only two resistance, convection on inside and outside. So 1 upon U is given by 1 upon H1 plus 1 upon H inside and 1 upon outside. So this is the equation. Okay, you know very well in convection you have studied in introduction chapter of heat exchange. Okay, heat transfer. So when you put all this value is equal to 1 upon, and one more thing, as I'm telling you in every lecture, that be careful in units. Okay, because here H value is not given in kilowatt or kilojoule, the H value is given in watt. Okay, so we will take as a 11.4. Okay, because yes, here there is a 1100, 11,400. Okay, in watt, and 8018 watt. So we will convert into kilowatt because we are taking all the units in kilo. So 11.4 plus 1 upon 8.018. Okay, now just when you solve this, you will get U. Okay, so U will get as a 4.707 watt per meter square Kelvin. 4.707. Now just put all this value, 0.7 is equal to U 4.707 into A that means pi dl into number of tubes and number of passes. Okay, as I explained you why I'm taking n into p. Mass of water is 3.4 into 10 raised to 4 kg, and specific heat is given to us 4.187, sorry 4.18, okay, only not 7. Okay, so when you put all this value, so we have pi diameter 25 mm, so 25 divided by 1000. L we have to find, number of tube is 31,500, and 2 passes is equal to 0.7 multiplied by 3.4 into 10 raised to 4 multiplied by 4.18 divided by, sorry, actually this is some bad handwriting, so let me write clearly. So it is 0.7 into 3.4 into 10 raised to 4. This is mass flow rate, and Cp value 4.18 divided by, what is the value of U? 4.707. Okay, so when you put all this value and calculate in your calculator, you will get length is equal to 4.25 meter per pass. Okay, what is per pass? As I have told you in very first, that is that pass means the distance between one end to other end of the heat exchanger, or overall length of the heat exchanger for single pass. L, this is if the fluid is entering over here, so and in, and it from here fluid is out, so this is the distance is known as one pass. Okay, and there are two passes. Okay, that means fluid is entering and coming out, and by U bend it is again entering into the heat exchanger and exchanging heat and coming, finally coming out from this side. So when someone asks you how much total length of the pipe of 25 mm diameter that you need for construction of this heat exchanger, so 4.25 mm, 4.25 meter per pass, so 4.25 meter, and you have 31,500 tubes and two passes. So that means when you solve this, 26,800 and, sorry, 2,68,238 meter, this much total length of the tube is that you have to require for construction. Okay, so this is all about today's discussion. Hope you guys understand behind the concept. Okay, and thank you for watching this video, and please answer this question. Okay, I'm waiting for your comments, and thank you for watching this video again, and please share with your friends also. Okay, till then, keep studying, stay focused.